Hey guys, it's your old pal, Cap'n Dum Dum. I'd like to apologize for posting this episode late today. Sometimes, when we take a few days off around the holidays, we forget what day it is. And I woke up, realizing that this episode hadn't been posted yet. So I do apologize. We'll try not to let that happen in the future. So, I get it. Most of you aren't listening to this in the morning. I think you're waiting until the afternoon when you can start drinking, because it just makes the episodes make more sense. Alright, thanks for listening, guys. And here's this silliness.
Bad call, but go for it.
Oh, baby.
So we're just gonna jump right into it, huh?
Something's gonna get real fucked up.
We are drinking whiskey.
I put gin on top of my gin.
Giggling about bullshit. You're not set to play with the boys? Oh my god, we're recording.
I'm trying to fill the void.
That's what you want, an alabaster smooth penis.
Zig and Larry ignore a topic. How about now?
Hey! Welcome to Zig and Larry Ignore a Topic, the only podcast where two monkeys attempt to hit technology with a fucking hatchet until it works. And today it did.
It sure did. Oh, that's too loud. That's too loud.
That's too loud? Well, it has, there's a button for that.
Yeah, there we go. How about that?
There it is. So for those of you at home, we tried to start it first, and we do not do technology well. He was very excited about the fact that he had a whole outfit. There you go. Crack that open, bitch. And then he's got a whole thing going on. So I just have to bring this up. Currently, you are in the Danger Dungeon.
Yes.
You are wearing a woman's elf outfit, which is stretched to the nines. Yeah, that is definitely an elf costume. It would be, for the Halloween episode, a sexy elf costume. The dancing wasn't necessary. The ears are very impressive.
Thank you.
Ears look really good. And also your mother-in-law is upstairs.
Yeah, she sure is.
You want to turn that back up just a touch.
Oh, is it?
Yep. Yep.
What is happening? Boy, oh boy. What a fun day.
Welcome to where nothing goes right. And Larry dresses in drag for naught. The joke has died twice now. You dressed in cosplay drag and desperately trying to make this joke work. With your mother-in-law one floor above your head, and it's still just not working.
Nothing is working. I don't understand.
Well, that's better.
Okay, I'm just gonna... You know what? We're just gonna deal with it. That's what we're gonna do.
That's fine, honey.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you. I'm going to say Happy New Year, because this is close enough. I think we're there.
I just assumed this was the company Christmas party.
If you're going to dress in drag, go balls out on the ear money, and then just totally phone in the rest of it. Get that shit. It's like tissue paper around your ass right now.
Yeah. Well, this was 2 years ago. So every year I get my sister and I something matching to wear for Christmas. One year it was Frozen, the movie Frozen, stocking caps that said Sisters Forever.
Okay.
One year it was matching Rainbow Dash stocking caps with pajama pants.
That theme is never going away. Okay.
And a couple years ago, it was this snazzy number. I got us both one, and we wore it around the dad's kitchen, which made him walk in and out of the room going, God damn it.
Hang on here. We learned in a previous episode, you're about to get an earring, but you were terrified about what your dad was going to say. However, you will buy yourself and your cowgirl sister matching elf horror costumes and parade them around his home where he prepares food.
Yeah, absolutely.
At this point, I say get the earring, man.
And make no mistake, he's not preparing any food. It's my stepmother that's preparing the food.
Okay, fair. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this is what I do, mostly just to drive him insane.
I know you wore this outfit for a comedy show Zoom the other day.
Yeah.
I love that you're getting a lot of mileage out of this fuck.
Absolutely.
You're like, let's wear it with my sister. I'm sorry, she's hot. She would have pulled it off much better. Let's wear it with my sister to piss off my dad. Then let's get drunk and do it with Elton John glasses on a Zoom call. What else can I do? It's just like really dragging out that prom dress. You don't want to buy it and have it be used one occasion.
Exactly. This is my wedding gown that I never got to wear. You know, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna be wandering around my house like Miss Havisham, eating Christmas cookies and complaining about my life.
Wear that bitch to the 7-Eleven, please, please, please.
Yeah, when we were wearing this at Dad's, he had some friends pop in. I'm
guessing all of his friends also just carry machetes and just chew on nails for fun.
Yeah, pretty much. And they walked in, and Dad was like, "Could you please be a little bit more decent?" And so I grabbed a baseball cap and a bottle of whiskey, and I was like, "Here we go." You're right.
What? The Expendables. I picture like your old man and his friends, just that movie franchise where it's like they just keep grabbing, like, give me Dolph Lundgren and Wesley Snipes, I don't know, throw whatever you got in there. Anybody who, Van Damme, anybody who was like really a badass 12 years ago, you still don't want to be around him.
Yeah.
But Seagal still can't play because he's creepy. But everybody else can go.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's just Dad's lineup of friends. Just a bunch of ex-cops and veterans and cowboys, and here's his son, the pretty elf princess, standing in the kitchen getting whiskey drunk.
They all have those baskets that you buy at Bed Bath & Beyond that go behind your driver's seat. But you're supposed to put, like, you know, Go-Gurts shit for the kids, but they've just got, like, small sawed-off baseball bats and, like, extendable batons.
Absolutely.
And multi-tools that have 5 blades.
And I'm in the kitchen belting out "All I Want for Christmas Is You." And pointing at them and making weird eye contact.
Different traditions. And I celebrate them both.
And I appreciate that. We're all about inclusion here on Zig and Larry Ignore a Topic. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I did something that I did 2 things in the last week that you're not going to be okay with until I explain, and a third that you're going to be really pleased with.
Okay.
The 2 involve food.
Hit me.
I made quiche. I made keto pancakes.
You know what? Mm-hmm. I don't mind a quiche. You know why? It's just egg pie with meat.
Exactly.
I love an egg pie with meat. Keto pancakes.
Okay.
You know what? Let's hit the quiche first. What do we throw in the quiche? I need to know what's in that quiche.
It was literally, I was just gonna, because I have a cast iron that's like an 8-inch cast iron, and I usually make like just like an egg bake sometimes, like a couple times a month maybe. I'll just for brunch, I'll throw whatever the fuck's in there. And she's like, "Let's make a quiche." What does that mean? And she just hands me this like pastry dough that came from the grocery store already made. She's like, "Put it in there. We cover that in butter. And we put the same shit you put in there, and then it's egg pie. It's the same thing." Like, sold. So it was just like every vegetable that was about to go off, plus ham and a shit ton of hot sauce and brie cheese. I had brie.
Yeah. It's perfect.
I mean, it's just hard to say quiche. I don't know why.
I don't know. Sometime in the 90s, we decided that quiche wasn't manly.
I think mini quiche is rough, especially if you see them in Costco in the 40 packs. I think in the freezer section, I think that's a little interesting. But
I love me a mini quiche. I'm going to be honest with you. We did some appetizer lunch the other day with the kids. Made like some just a shit ton of the worst frozen foods because we just didn't feel like cooking for real. So we made a bunch of mini quiches and mozzarella sticks and jalapeno poppers and chicken nuggies and just a pile.
You had this already in-house?
No, I went out and bought it.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
Yeah, I was like, this is what we want.
Yeah, it's like perfect meal when you go to McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's. It's the same thing, but yes, but in the air fryer.
Yeah, well, and we just, we also threw some pizza rolls. Mm-hmm. Threw down on a bag of pizza rolls. The key to the pizza roll, bake it for however long it says, and then put it up on the broiler and broil them bitches until they get nice and crispy. That's the key to it. Or, as I've done before, if I'm in a hurry, microwave them bitches, throw them on some aluminum foil, and then underneath the broiler. Crisps them up. You have no idea. There's no difference. It's the same thing. It's just Chef Boyardee lava in your mouth is what it is.
Chef Boyardee lava in your mouth. You and I should make a cookbook, which would be very different and very weird.
Yes. Yeah.
Actually, probably would be that different, just with same different means to the same end.
Yeah, I don't want to be hungry no more.
No.
This is me. I'm hungry. I don't want to be hungry no more.
Don't get me wrong on the keto pancake. It was all about, I saw it on TV, and I had the things in the house, and it was fine. Literally, just a stick blender, and you go, yeah, like that. Do that to a banana, as if you're going to make a banana daiquiri. Because, I tell you what, zap the shit out of a banana, throw a little bit of coconut milk in there and a shit ton of rum. That's delicious. I don't care who you are.
Oh, yeah.
That is a treat for everyone. So just take one banana and 2 eggs in your stick blender and go, yeah, and then just throw a shit ton of butter in a skillet and pour it out like pancakes. And that's it.
Huh.
I wouldn't call it a pancake, except for it looks like it. It's a bitch to flip because they fall apart the first time.
Sure.
It takes a little bit of finesse. But then you put like you put a little bit of baking powder in there so they're fluff. But that's it. And then you put a shit ton of those on a plate with some real maple syrup, and I had some blueberries and another huge-ass pan of butter. It tasted like breakfast. It was eggs and banana and syrup.
It sounds perfectly reasonable.
It was delightful. It was easier than making pancakes from scratch.
Yeah.
And we did also, because I did have some of the Bisquick in the cupboard, which I, in my hungover state, knocked to the floor, and it went akimbo and elsewhere. And I went, you know what? It's time to try
keto pancakes.
Keto pancakes.
We had some dinner rolls left over from last night. Nicole made a beef Wellington last night.
No shit. That's on my list. How'd it go?
The beef Wellington. To me, beef Wellington sounds like a London-based porn star, but I mean,
but like a tranny porn star with a fat ass.
But like, it was this beautiful cut of beef wrapped in herbed mushrooms and a puff pastry and baked. Yeah. You can't go wrong. She did a fantastic job. Made some.
You go very wrong if you screw it up. It seems like it's pretty easy to cock up.
Yeah, well, that's why last night she's always wanted to. So last night she decided, we're doing this. I'm just gonna bake this beef Wellington, and it went really well. It went really well, and some mashed potatoes and gravy. Had some dinner rolls. I'll tell you, this morning, because we slept in. We relaxed. And got up and we're like, I could make pancakes, but it's already 9:30, going on, it's closer to 10. You know what? And I was looking around the kitchen, had those dinner rolls left over. So what I did, sliced them in half, threw some butter in a pan, some cinnamon sugar and brown sugar, mixed that up, and then toasted those rolls face down in that cinnamon brown sugar butter, and let those toast up and soak up that deliciousness. It was pretty good. It was like a poor man's idea of a cinnamon roll, but it worked.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah, soaked in butter and brown sugar, everything's good.
I have one more small story before we get into it. if I could, because you're the only person who cares. And if you're listening now, you don't care. So fast forward about 6 minutes. If you want to really detest the government, humanity, and just realize that people don't give a shit, go to the post office 2 weeks before Christmas. And do it 2 days in a row. And do it if you're me.
Boy.
Yeah, I'm going to attempt to do this story in under a couple of minutes, but here's the general idea. COVID Christmas. So, for my mother, my stepfather, we have a box of stuff. It's a box, we wrapped it up. There's a bunch of, like, wrap presents inside. Wrap the whole thing in, like, nice paper, like the string and everything. I'm going to take that over. I've got some cards in my pocket. Most of the stuff has been sent out, but I got to take this to my mom. And why did you go to UPS store? I know. Because why do you go to USPS? Because USPS is literally a block and a half from my house.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, I'm sure they'll... I hate the fact that it's the government agency, but you're like, oh, I'm sure they could probably get it there, right? UPS, FedEx, they'll do their job. The Postal Service, you're like, I'm going to give them a 70-30. They're going to do a good job. They're going to do their best. They're going to fail a lot and go, we're very sorry. Talk to my customer service. We're very sorry, sir. So, day one. I've got a whole bunch of letters in my pocket, and I've got a box. I have stamps for all but one letter. We are out of stamps in the house, okay? So I need one more stamp. So I walk in, and there's a huge-ass line, but at the post office, there is a kiosk. It's a little machine. You know, you can weigh your package, you can, yada, 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 but, and you can buy stamps, the forever stamps. Forever, that's cute. But I'm like, you know what? I want to make sure that this gets to my parents, and I want to do the insurance because I don't trust the government agency. Fast forward 25 minutes. I go all the way to the front. The woman is as good as any government employee can be. Think DMV, think Postal Service. She does her job. She obviously hates me for breathing. I get it. But she's just like, this is a post office in Chicago during Christmas. Like, they have 5 windows, okay? 2 of them are currently occupied with workers. It's 1 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It's, and all the other windows are stacked full of fucking packages. There's just shit and shit and shit. Like, you can't even get a person in there anyway. So I'm like, okay, so here's the thing. Please send this thing to my mom. And she says, we'll do our best. I'm like, that's all I can ask. Thank you very much. And I go over to the kiosk to buy my 1 stamp. Okay? And I touch the button. Doop. And it says, you can weigh your package. You can buy forever stamps. You can do one other thing. Buy forever stamps and do one other thing. Not available at this time. Not available this time. So, that was day 1. And I went, you know what? I am not waiting at this line again to buy fucking stamps. I'm going to go home and do it again. So I went home. I went back the next day. And I went up to the machine thinking, surely the government agency, surely overnight they have fixed the problem.
Right.
Now I hit the screen and it doesn't do anything. It shuffles between 3 different loading screens, or 3 different screensavers, basically. It shows you all the things you can do on this machine. But if you touch the machine, nothing fucking happens. You touch it. It's like touching a dick without Viagra in your 70s. It's like you touch all you want. You can waggle it at the kids.
Back and forth.
Oh, God. So impotent. So then I joined the line. The line today is longer. The line is also, God bless him, right in front of me, featuring a mother and an 18-year-old son. And the 18-year-old son obviously has mental... He's handicapped, but he's also forgotten his belt. So for the next 45 minutes, I get to watch this mother and his son, and his pants keep falling around his ankles, and Mom's saying the same thing. Pull up your pants. Where's your belt? And he's like, I don't know. And that's it. So he holds it for a while. He forgets. I think puts it. That just again, his ass is in my face. Like, dude, he's not doing anything wrong. I'm like, fuck. The kid literally lost his belt. Jesus Christ.
Did you offer him yours? Please take this.
I'm waiting 45 minutes. Now, in that 45 minutes, because the line snakes around, I can still see the kiosk. And people keep pushing it. And nothing is happening. Because the first couple times people push it, you're like, oh, maybe I just don't know how to push it, which is stupid. How do I not know how to push it? You know? I'm like, oh, God, no. And then it becomes everybody else's job in the back of the line. No, it's not working. Oh. But we watch them fail first as a group. Everybody has to. You watch them fail and then say, "Oh, it didn't work for me either."
We need to let them learn the same lesson we just learned.
You must suffer as I have suffered.
Because fuck them.
Front, and today there is one person for most of this, so it took a little bit longer. And I say, I just need some stamps. I need one stamp to get this shit out. I just need some stamps. Well, we have Merry Christmas. We have Santa, but I don't care. I just need some stamps. Also, the kiosk is broken. Can somebody just put like a out of order sign on it or unplug it or something? And she goes, sir, that is not my job. Would you like Santa? Would you like Merry Christmas? Would you like Happy Hanukkah? I'm like, it's not my job either, but I haven't seen anybody else who works here besides you, one guy who walks back and forth behind you doing apparently nothing, another woman who just came back from lunch who couldn't care less either. Can we just put a sign? She's like, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. I don't care! So I bought the stamps. Happily enough, I'm so pissed off. I'm wearing a coat that I haven't worn since last year, and there's like a half a pack of Juicy Fruit in the inside pocket. I buy my pack of stamps, and as I'm walking out, I see another woman who is easily 70, who is slapping the touchscreen going, it never goddamn works! I tell you that to tell you this. I went outside, I put my one stamp on the last letter, I threw it in the goddamn mailbox outside. I came back inside, I chewed the Juicy Fruit, I took one of their goddamn first-class envelopes that I'm assuming are the most expensive because it looked the fanciest. I wrote out of order on the back of it. I took the Juicy Fruit from last year, stuck it in my mouth, and then shoved that son of a bitch right on top of their kiosk, hoping upon hope that whoever had to chisel that goddamn gum off of there would give a fuck about the people who come into the goddamn post office.
Well, hopefully the guy that whose specific job is to chisel gum off of stuff in the post office, hopefully he's not on vacation this week.
Must have been, because I didn't see anybody walking around that piece. It was a goddamn thing, and I just slapped the thing, and I really thought I was going to hear, like, applause. But everyone was just like, yeah, okay. I tried to save people the frustration, but nobody gave a damn. It was like the soul was sucked through our assholes and just drizzled out the front of this municipal building.
That's it kind of reminds me of the Shane Torres bit about him standing in line at the post office, and some guy walks in, and this huge line, and dude just walks in and goes, nah, and he's like, in this very crowded post office, this guy just goes, excuse me, I just need to mail a package. And everyone turns around and goes, what the fuck is wrong with you? Were you an only child? What the fuck?
What business does he think everybody else is doing?
Exactly.
I'm standing behind a kid who can't keep his pants up. He knows he's supposed to, but he keeps forgetting because
that's the excuse I used too. I know they're supposed to, but I keep forgetting.
I really felt so justified slapping a homemade out of order sign with one of their.
Oh, absolutely.
One of their thing, but it's such an impotent gesture. I was like, yeah, and I was like expecting like rounds of applause and high fives as I'm coming out, and everyone's like, oh yeah, this is what hell is like. So there's no applause for you, friend. I thought something like even maybe like a employer go, you can't do that, sir. No, just the apathy, like more apathy than I feel in my day to day, which is a lot of apathy.
Well, Look, I've got a buddy that is a mail carrier, and I understand that it's a hard job.
Sure.
But at the same time, I've been in the post office and dealt with the people behind the counter. And that's why I just use FedEx and UPS now.
In the 40 minutes I was there, I watched so many people touch on this screen to no avail. I'm like, no, it's like the employee's like, I don't care. Yeah, they'll figure it out on their own.
I'm not asking you to fix it. I'm asking you to tell someone that it needs fixed. Well, the guy who tells the guy that it needs fixed is on break until 2. So if you'd like to stick around. No!
He just joined Space Force, because that's where they're fucking recruiting from now. So he's in charge of protecting us from Martians. Now that Trump is gone. What the fuck? Like, that is not my job, sir. Like, no, you work here, and that is broken. I'm just asking you to put a sign on it. Not my job, sir. Would you like these Hanukkah ones, or we have these really cute Christmas ones? I don't give a shit! What I wanted was $2 worth of fucking forever stamps. So I don't need stamps anymore. I don't want to buy $11 worth of half a book of bullshit, but apparently that's my job, and now I have to go, do you have the one with Jackie Robinson? No? Okay, that's great. Fuck, well then give me what you got!
See, and this is why I don't send people anything.
You sent me a present, it was fucking stolen.
Yeah, I know, and that's the other reason.
The only thing that's gotten stolen from me all year was yours.
A fucking course it was.
Yeah.
A fucking course. I'm such,
I had furniture delivered, I've had electronics delivered, 1,000 different presents. The one thing that got stolen from me was your gift of a bag of tea where you did the artwork on the front of it for the company for, and a couple of found books that would make me feel bad about myself. This fucking thief got.
Yep. And like I said, I really hope that he didn't read that it was tea and just tried to smoke it and had to go into... well, that's the thing. I was going to say, I hope he had to go to the ICU, but I don't want him taking a bed from people that actually need it. I hope that his lungs were on fire for 2.5 weeks, and he's regretted his decision and is going back to get the GED so he can actually try to make something of his life, other than just stealing packages of fun shit that means nothing to anyone but me and you.
You went full circle from stealing tea to going back to school. That was and really quick. Like, he found himself. He realized he was doing wrong.
Yeah.
Smoked tea and it hurt him.
Yeah.
And then doing so, he decided to get his GED. And now he, I don't know, he works for... He's an organ man? I'm not certain what he's doing, but it's a good wage.
2 guys in a truck. He's working for 2 guys in a truck. Because I guarantee you those people aren't doing background checks. And he's tempted every day. But, ever since that tea incident, then he's in that stern look from General Sherman on the cover of that. He's just really trying to make a go of it so he can at least see his kids once a month.
This is one of those cartoons from Adult Swim that I no longer understand. This is the comedy Tim and Eric has birthed, and love them. It's not exactly my thing. Sometimes I get it. Sometimes I'm like, well, that's over my head. But that's where we're at right now.
Yeah. This is my head today.
Yeah. Well, you want to know what we're not talking about?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay. Are you going to dress in cosplay drag the entire time?
I mean, I could take it off. I don't think that's better. So what are we talking about?
So, from our Christmas episode, when we hit upon that beautiful recipe from Greenland, where people were stuffing tiny birds into a seal, and then put it in the ground, and then waited until their daughter was ready to drive, and then they ate it, I decided to do a little bit more research and find a thing about some other ridiculously gross-ass shit that people have eaten.
Okay.
Now, what I like about this is the website that I found did their research And on a few of these, there are links to the recipes. Not just why it's gross, but how you do it if you were that people and wanted to recreate it for your family on, I don't know, a Christmas or a special day, a graduation.
Okay.
Right. So I found a bunch of really weird shit that people eat. Now, some of these we've heard before, but it's the recipes, really, that just made me smile. And the click hole I went down, I'm going to save you a lot of it, but it took a while. It was fun.
Okay.
So, there's a couple on here that I desperately need to go into deep detail with. But first off, this one some of these are okay. And again, I'm going to totally trounce the goddamn pronunciation of a lot of things because we're going around the world, so please excuse me.
Sure.
But Casumarzu, and that's Italian. So Casumarzu, 2 words, Italian.
Okay.
Okay. It's pecorino. It's cheese.
All right.
Okay. So I mean pecorino romano. It's like a hard cheese.
Yeah.
Delightful. This is one in Sardinia, which they've actually had to outlaw-ish. They make this big-ass wheel of cheese, and then they let flies fuck on it, and they put maggots in it. They want the maggots to infest the cheese. Is this new to you? Some of these might be new, some of these are old, but
I feel like maybe I saw an episode of Bizarre Foods that I tried to block out.
Right. We're kind of going down Zimmer's path here, but we're going to do it our way.
Yeah. So maggot cheese. So maggots infest the cheese.
It's pecorino, which is not it's a hard-ish cheese. You know?
Okay, yeah, that's not the part I'm struggling with.
You shave it over the pasta.
Yeah. No, that's not the part that I'm. It's
slightly salty, is what I'm saying. It's good.
Yeah, no, but the part that I'm having trouble with is the maggot part.
So literally, they take these think rustic Italian farms.
Yeah.
Big ass wheels, the size of like a half a bicycle wheel, right?
Uh-huh.
They put in the fucking barn, and they wait for maggots to get into it. It's so vile and not really good for you that the government has, I'm doing air quotes, outlawed it. But it's kind of outlawed. It's in the same way that I don't know, it's weird. It's like weed in California and Illinois. Like you can't have it, but we say you kind of can, but you can't. It's not exactly like that, but they turn a blind eye.
Uh-huh.
So you could find yourself a back alley black market dude who's got maggot cheese.
What? Okay, but why the maggots?
For the flavor, sir.
So you leave them in.
Oh yeah, that's the bitch of it. It's not what they leave behind to flavor the cheese and or possibly make it more creamy. It's that they're there.
No.
So it's fly larva that has only eaten the cheese. It has utilized the cheese for energy, passed it through their system. It's now behind them. So now it is think of a small wedge of cheese that you would have, maybe a cracker, or a little bit of speck or prosciutto, a little bit of, maybe honey on top, I don't know, mustard, whatever your thing is. The whole point is you eat it with the fucking maggots in there. They fall off as it brings you...
No.
Yeah.
No. Oh, God. Why? What is wrong with us? How have we survived as a species if we're doing that?
Well, I think it's interesting that we've taken milk, which we shouldn't be. It was weird at first to look at a cow or a goat and go, give me some of that juicins.
I'd like some of that cow squeezins.
Juicins. I like juicins. I just came up with that. Juicins.
You know it was just the weird dude in the village that was just sucking on an udder. And just be like, you know what, I'd like to put that in my mouth. And then was like, you know, this isn't so bad.
And the slightly less weird dude, then the slightly less weirder dude, all the way up to the mayor's kid. Well, this is what we do.
Well, he just felt guilty because the dude was probably just fucking the goat and was like, well, he should get a little something too.
Yeah.
Turns out, it was an udder and not what he thought.
So you can take the juicins from the dairy animals and you can turn it into butter. You can turn it into cheese. And then which is weird in and of itself. I mean, for a lot of Asian cultures, that's weird as shit.
Yeah.
That's weird. I mean, you don't see cheese in Asian cultures. You don't. Because it is kind of a weird from A to B there.
Yeah, it is.
But then to take the juicins from a cow, ruin it into a thing, and then let nature ruin it again to put crawly biscuits in it, and then purposely find a guy on the black market to sell it to you so you can eat the cheese with the crawly biscuits. Now you have to get it real quick, because if you don't, the crawly biscuits become fucking flies, and then it's ruined.
So it's ruined already. Like, if I open any food product and there's maggots, I don't go, you know what, let's give it a shot. I go, that's done. It's done now. We don't do that.
No.
Were they inspired by Tolkien and the orcs? What?
Not certain. I am not certain. It seems aggressively weird.
We ain't had nothing but maggoty cheese for 3 weeks, and it's a delicacy. No!
It kind of seems like a dare contest went bad, but somebody had a lot of money, and somebody else was really insecure about not having money. Like, no, rich people do this. Like, that's kind of...
Yeah, it seems like it was a dare or a mistake, or like somebody was supposed to make cheese and left it too long, and they're like, no, this is on purpose, and I'm going to sell it for a lot of money.
The emperor has no clothes. You leave your cheese out for too long, you fuck up, it's crawling with maggots. However, if you are a great salesman, and you can convince the goddamn king that this is what you wanted, then everybody else just like, oh yes, we like this too.
No, the whole village finds it delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Right, guys? Everyone gets a bite.
You want to go to Mongolia?
Are we gonna...
We're gonna go around the country.
Let's go to Mongolia, because I think we've already talked, you and I have already spoken about Mongolian.
This is different.
Okay, alright.
We're going around the globe. There's a bunch of these that I might just gloss over. But this one I kind of like. Just for the fact that it's a whole bunch... Again, it's humanity is amazing to me. It's like, we can do that. Should we? No. Do you want to? So Boodog. Boodog. Boodog, I'm guessing.
Okay.
It is a way to cook meat. Okay?
Okay.
And from everything, I tried to do a lot of research on this, but it's done with 2 different kinds of animals. Goats and marmots.
That's 2 very different kinds of animals.
Yep, but that's what I got.
Apparently, what do we got? We got goat, we got marmot. What else we got? That's it. Well, looks like we're cooking with marmot.
I'm talking Outer Mongolia. So, that's what they got. So, the whole idea, and I don't understand this, because it must be fairly new because it involves blowtorches, but here's the thing.
I'm glad that torches was the second word in that statement.
Uh-huh. You take a goat, you kill it, thankfully. You stuff it with hot-ass rocks, and then you char off the hair on the outside with a blowtorch. It's the general idea, and they call that barbecue. Now, I have a lot of issues with this. That's the general idea, but I wanted to do that so I could tell you what the actual recipe is, which I found on mongofood.info.
Okay.
It's Mongolian. Yeah, okay? So this is the actual recipe. Now, what I don't understand is if you got a goat and you got a fire hot enough to heat rocks.
Yeah.
Why are you making it this hard on yourself?
Yes. What? It's suicide with extra steps.
So for mongofood.info, this is the recipe, and I'm just going to read it, okay? Hang a marmot or goat at the head. Cut the skin around its neck. Now, it is possible to pull the skin and most of the meat down over the inner skeleton. Break the legs at the knee so that you only need to pull out the upper leg bones. I'm going off script here. What the fuck is going on if this makes sense?
This sounds like it came from the Hellraiser cookbook.
Yeah, well, no, it's like if you read like an old French cookbook, like, how do you not know how to just do this to... they will know. No. So break the legs at the knee so that you only need to pull out the upper leg bones from this is a new sentence, from the innards. Keep the liver and kidneys, which can later be inserted again. Moving on. Turn the removed skin and meat back. This isn't so much a recipe as it's just like it's insane.
It's John Wayne Gacy's diary.
Yeah. Or possibly a coloring book. Turn the removed skin and meat back so that the hair is at the outside again.
Oh no!
Fill the resulting sack, and sack is now in quotes in the description. This is the recipe.
The resulting sack.
Sack in quotes with the following ingredients: some salt, 1 or 2 peeled onions, and a number of stones.
A number of stones. You'll know.
Salt. Hold on, this is a whole goat. Ready?
Uh-huh.
Some salt, 1 or 2 peeled onions, because peeling the onion is the issue at this point. You don't want onion skin in there, because that's gross. And a number of stones that have been heated up in a fire for about an hour, 2 hours, or 4. The stones must have a smooth and round surface. The smaller ones go to the upper legs, the larger ones into the abdominal cavity. At the end, the neck is closed with a piece of wire. Who's hungry?
Oh my god.
Now you need a strong flame. Example, blowtorch, to burn away the fur. Scratch the remains together with the uppermost layer of the skin. During that process, the meat gets cooked from the inside, and you get to cut a few small holes into the skin to avoid an explosion.
What, an explosion?
The meat is cooked enough when all the skin surface leaks with fat. So, that is a recipe to these people. The recipe and procedure are very different.
Look, I understand there's a lot of things in this that are more questionable, but I'm still stuck on the phrase, some stones, or a number of stones.
A number of stones.
What number? A number of them. You'll know when it's right.
How big the goat was, I'm assuming?
Yeah,
because you've already got the goat sack upside down that you yanked down and pulled back up.
Goat sack.
Broke its legs. Yeah.
Goat sack, baby.
So, I mean, it seems like it's just a way to flavor an entire goat with 1 or 2 onions the hard way.
You know what we could do? We could skin this goat, put it on a spit. We could put some like garlic and onions and vegetables inside with some herbs and rotate it. and flavor it from the inside.
Don't be an asshole. No. We are going to make this the weirdest way possible. We have to break its legs, obviously. Okay?
Wait,
we have 2 onions that we have to use. That's it. We're going to heat up rocks on the fire, which we cook the meat on. Bear with me. That's the end.
But why don't we just skin him and cook him that way? It seems easier.
Because then it wouldn't be a great story to put on a podcast in 22. It's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever heard.
I'm going to tell you right now.
This goddamn bitch, like, wow.
I'm assuming that this let's call it a procedure, was invented by a goat herder who got caught doing something to the goat, and or the goat told somebody what he's been up to. And he made sure that goat would never tell anybody again. So when they walked up, he was just like, it's dinner? Would you like to try some? There are a number of stones inside of this goat.
So what you're saying is that this recipe for cooking goat is to cook goat what Mormonism is to Christianity.
Yes.
Now, all of these practices are in some way insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're yanking off all the hair and the hide, and then they're putting it back. Like, well, no, you've already done it.
Yeah, you're so close. You're so close to taking it off. Just take it the rest of the way.
No, don't worry. We put it back on, though. We hit it with a blowtorch. What? That seems unnecessary.
You have a blowtorch. Look, I'm not against using a blowtorch of any variety for cooking. I think if anytime you can use a blowtorch, by all means.
Sure, but if you're doing it just to do it, also actually kind of fun. But
look, Friday night, after my Zoom show, came upstairs, and the kids and I and Nicole were all still kind of snacky. We weren't hungry. We'd had dinner. And so we had some frozen French fries. We had some pizza rolls. We had some chicken patties. Just stuff that we could throw in the oven, but we also had some veggie tots. And the veggie tots were, let's say, not good. In fact, I was chasing Gideon through the house with a veggie tot, being like, eat the tot, and he said, you keep your vegetarian bullshit away from me.
It does sound bad.
And so instead what we did is we took the remainder of the veggie tots and piled them up, and then I took some overproof rum that we have in the house, and we soaked those and then lit it on fire, and then took cinnamon and just kept throwing cinnamon towards the fire so it would spark. It was kitchen magic. We were doing science, and what I love about my wife is as Gideon and I are giggling like idiots, and screaming, like, here's my greatest spell, sugar bam, and just poof. She walks in and she goes, and what are we doing? And I said, food science. She goes, awesome, I want to set stuff on fire too. What are we doing? Like, give me that. Yes. So, I understand the desire to fuck some shit up, is what I'm saying.
Sure.
But never have I grew up hunting. I've had to skin squirrels and rabbits and deer. I have never once gotten it almost all the way off and went, you know what we should do? You know what we ought to do? Flip this bad boy around and turn this into a sack and then just burn the hair off. If I said that, my dad would have hit me and then drug tested me.
It just seems unnecessary.
It does.
But if you live in outer Mongolia and you got yourself a marmot, that's how you cook it.
Hey, Dad, I got an idea for cooking. We should put a number of stones inside of this mammal. I'm sorry. How many stones? A number.
Just some salt, a number of stones, and 1 or 2 peeled onions. Thusly, we have made Boo Dog.
Delightful.
Now, I'm going to do this because I want to make sure we get there, because I want you to listen to this gentleman's description.
Okay.
So, you and I would eat Boo Dog. I would eat anything. Like, there are a handful of things I will not eat. But I've tried them. I've tried everything. It's weird, I detest grapefruit. I do not like walnuts. Like, there's a handful of just random things that I do not like. But there was a fermented fish dish in Tahiti that took me 2 tries to eat, but I did. And it was gross, but I was like, but it would have haunted me for the rest of my life if I didn't at least try it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So this falls under the spell of would I ever if it was in front of me. Balut.
Balut.
Filipino duck abortion.
Oh, no. God, no.
So, balut it's a Filipino thing, obviously. It's an egg that has been, we eat egg cum, so this is egg that has been fertilized.
Right.
And it gets just enough to where it's got limbs, but only a couple feathers, big bulging eyes that aren't opened. It's never going to be a full bird, but it's in the egg.
Yeah.
Could you?
No.
I'm not asking if you want to. I'm asking, could you?
I don't know if I could.
If it was like a me, you, I dare you. I dare you. If you do it, I'll do it.
Ugh. I think I'd throw up. I think look, and I have become a very adventurous eater. I'll try anything, almost anything, at least one time. But that sounds, and I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And even looking at it, my gag reflex just, like, it just kills me to even look at it.
It's a Filipino thing. Do you know what they eat that with, traditionally?
Ox snot? I don't know.
Beer. It's a beer. You have a beer and an egg. It's like a hard-boiled egg or a pickled egg in a bar and a beer. It's that kind of thing.
How big is it?
How big is a duck that fits in a fucking egg? That's how big it is. Okay.
Okay, alright. I mean, fair description.
That's it. It's, they have a couple of buds of feathers. You eat the whole thing. But here's where I've always thought it was... I've always thought I would eat anything. And one of the things I really want to do in my life is eat a fucking penguin. I really want to eat a penguin. I know it's probably illegal. The closest thing that I know is that if you are a indigenous person in northern Alaska or Canada or in that general area, Greenland, you can kill and eat indigenous seals, penguins, things like that. So first thing I have to do is get a really good friend who's a goddamn Eskimo. That's thing one. And if they kill it, I get to eat it. And I guess it just tastes like a really, really fatty, fishy duck. I desperately want to, and I want to have, I want to do that just to upset people. But, so, balut. Going back. I went to the recipe click of this one, and it takes me to, this is a food site for Filipino food. It's called the Wildly Filipino. WildlyFilipino.com.
Huh.
Balut, that much loved, much maligned Filipino delicacy. Favorite of beer drinkers all over the country. Yada, yada, yada. So, this guy tells me that there are a bunch of ways to eat it, but this is the basic instructions for eating balut. Are you ready? Picture the egg in your hand.
Okay.
Inside this egg, it's a duck egg. Inside there, it wiggles a little bit. It goes clunk, 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 because they've allowed the embryo to bloom. It started to make it a duck, and then they've aborted it halfway through with temperature. So in there, it's a dead duck egg. Boil water. Now you have it. So now you're going to cook it. Ready? Boil water gently in a pot and put balut in it for a few minutes. Okay?
With a number of stones.
This is what we've got. Untwist the salt and put it in a dish. I'm guessing, just put, yeah.
Because somebody just threw the salt shaker in a dish and they were like, it's not coming out.
The wily Filipino. Hold the balut upright. With the underside of a spoon, make a crack at the top of the egg. Okay, so we're like, you're cracking up. Okay. Chip away pieces of the eggshell with your finger until you have a hole about the diameter of a finger. Good for you. Sometimes you'll see some kind of gauzy membrane. Pierce it.
No.
I'm sorry, that was number 5. You have to. Go with me on this journey.
Okay, I'm piercing it.
Okay. You will see, sometimes, we'll say right now, you have.
If you say discharge.
You've seen some kind of gauzy membrane. You've pierced it. Now, you can peek inside the balut and see broth.
That's not broth.
It is, good call, it is amniotic fluid. Ready?
Okay.
Tip the egg to your mouth and suck out the amniotic fluid. Just, come on, go with me. Oh, God. Yeah, okay, I did not think this through. Continue removing the egg shell. Depending on how you crack it open, you may see an undifferentiated mass of stuff that feels like slightly runny, soft-boiled egg in texture. Dip the stuff in the salt and eat it. Number 8 is may or may not. Yeah, you may or may not have some goo. If you got goo, put it in salt. Put it in your face.
Salt that goo and shove it into your cake hole.
Number 9, you may encounter. There's a lot of mays. There's a lot of oopsie doodles. We may or may not do this. Number 9, you may encounter a hard spherical section that looks like a seed. Throw that away.
Oh, that's the part we throw away.
Hold on. In parentheses, my godmother swears that's all calcium and good for you, but it's tasteless and hard for me.
No.
No, we're not done yet. If you have gone through all these trials, hopefully the penitent man will pass. You may have finally gotten to the jackpot. Pick it up by the head. Okay? You've sucked out the fluid. You pick that bastard up by the head. At which point the body unrolls from its fetal position and its little legs dangle. Dip the little legs into the salt and pop it into your mouth. Wash down with a cold bottle of San Miguel beer. And that's it.
I am upset.
When I was a kid, we used to do this with milk before I could drink beer. But balut and milk, that sounds disgusting.
Well, thank you for joining us for the last episode of this show.
So, I refuse to be terrified by food, but after reading that, I'm like, I don't think I can ever try that. I don't.
I don't think... No. I mean, like, even if you were like, I'll do it if you do it, the answer is no. The answer is no.
But do you hate Filipino people?
I mean, obviously.
Come on. Do you hate Filipino culture? Larry Smith. Do you hate Filipino culture?
I don't.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is part of it. Would you like to, possibly, if you met somebody over there, if you were to the Philippines, and they said, please, we enjoy your comedy, please enjoy some of our culture. Where you at?
I would ask for a bucket and a beer. And I would probably, I'll tell you right, you know me.
Yeah, beer comes with it.
But you know me well enough that if someone were to come up and be like, hey, you gotta do one with us, and I'd be like, don't want to be rude. And then if they are, how about some tequila? No tequila, but I'll eat your duck fetus. I'll eat duck fetus with you. I think, yeah, I probably would, and then I'd be so mad and vomit so much.
But you dip it in the salt. You hold a little duck fetus in your little 2 pinky fingers and thumb, and then you dip it in your little salt dish, and then you put the whole cocksucker right in your mouth, and then you get to taste it. Would you like to hear the FAQs from the gentleman?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. We have not ruined me yet.
Okay. Answers to FAQs. Yes, you can feel the feathers on your tongue.
Oh, no.
The duck's eyes are closed. Apparently, they've never been able to buy good balut in the U.S. And there's a place actually not terribly far from me that sells it. Not that I've ever been tempted, but I'm like, okay. No, you can't pop the whole thing in your mouth to begin with. There's just too much, unless you have a big mouth. You have to separate the balut into its component parts to appreciate it. The fluid, the bird, the other.
The other?
I don't know, maybe that little weird calcium thing he was talking about? I don't know.
But
I'm just reading.
The fluid in the bird is bad enough. Why does there have to be other, and why can't they identify it?
Well, sometimes there's other.
Oh. Okay. Was this episode revenge for Recipe for Seduction?
No, this was me going down a rabbit hole, and there's still a whole bunch of stuff out here that we haven't talked about. We can go with bat paste. Real quick, that's in Thailand. We're almost done with the episode, but here's the general idea. You catch a lot of fruit bats, right? You catch them in a net.
Every day.
Thailand, Malaysia. You catch a lot of bats. And then you pull them into a big sack, and then you hit them a lot of times against a rock. And then you put them live into a big boiling vat of milk. And then you wait until it's done. That's the recipe. And then you take them all out, and using another rock, you turn them into a paste, and then you get yourself some bat paste. You can put herbs in it if you want, salt, pepper, whatever you got. It's just bat paste. It's just live, beaten bats, and you beat the bejesus out, and you turn them into a paste. Yeah. There's also a picture I wanted to send you, and I will. It's a cockroach soup, and it looks like udon, those big, beautiful, thick udon noodles you get from Japanese places.
Yeah.
But it's cockroach soup. But so it's weird because there's 3 big ass cockroaches in the bowl, from what I've seen. But they put them like the Triforce, so it's pretty in the bowl. But it's head to ass, huge as a cockroach.
God damn it!
I'm just really doing a whole lot of stuff here. Later, and this is going to take some time, I won't do it, but moose nose jelly, that's a thing. Camera, he sliced a moose's nose up, turned it into gelatin.
But why?
Because it's there, and it's a hard country.
You'd use every part of the animal up there in the north.
You saying wise is big talk coming from a man dressed in fucking tranny cosplay.
I am a festive elf.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just being me, buddy. With my little... Did you notice the ears?
I've said that 7 times. The ears are actually impressive.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted you to say it again. Got these at Five Below. Thank you very much.
I mean, not bad.
And on certain days, you can actually get balut at Five Below, depending on what day you show up.
Oh, you don't want to get balut on a discount or a coupon. You don't... Oh, God. If somebody is making aborted duck fetus, you want it to be aborted on the right day. You don't want somebody to just, like, roll the dice on that.
Oh, my God.
Uh-huh.
I know Nicole has said she would try it.
I don't think I could. I don't want to be bested by food. Every time I've seen a food challenge, I will try it. If I fail, I'm okay with that, but I am okay with saying I will give it my all, and if I fail, it's just not for me. But I will try. But balut might be one of those things I'm like, I don't know if I could.
Right.
Like, I've eaten live, like, wiggling things. That's not that big of a deal for me.
Okay. Well, like, what have you eaten alive?
I've eaten a couple maggots. I've eaten a couple, like they're basically like little wood grubs.
Okay.
They're like the size of a cashew. I wouldn't do it again. They're not great.
Was
They're
it
not terrible?
Where were you?
I was actually in... This is the weirdness about working in fine dining restaurants in Chicago about 15 years ago. You get weird shit sometimes, and that was one of the weird shits. We had a box of these things that were growing in this wood from Africa. I'm like, this is a thing. We're thinking about putting this on the menu. Do you want to try one? Sure. Let's not do that. It won't sell.
It's the Midwest. I don't care how cosmopolitan Chicago is. It's still the Midwest, and someone would be like, "You've got what?" No.
Yeah, it was kind of gross, but it was like...
Does it come in cheese sauce?
I suppose it could, if you make yourself a cheese sauce and use it to kill this thing with.
Well, if you make it with that maggot cheese, then it just seems like it's fitting.
But I mean, it like ebbs and flows. Where like I would say like 7 years, people say, "Oh, eating insects is the next protein." So that was like a height at one point. So
right.
I was like, yeah, sure, I'll try it. It wasn't great. I would do it again, but I would I'd rather not. But whatever.
Well, and there's stuff that I know, and I couldn't tell you off the top of my head right now, but there's stuff that I know I've tried that I was like, yeah, sure, what the hell, we'll give it a shot. That I was like, meh, I'll never eat that again. But you know, I'm always glad that I'll try something once, just to be like, pickled herring.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, there is down in southern Illinois, there's a bunch of wineries, and there is a legit Swedish restaurant in the bottom floor of this winery, and it has been owned by Swedish immigrants for years. They brought all these recipes over, and we just got the sampler platter of a bunch of stuff, and everything was really good, but the pickled herring was so strong. And like the old lady comes out and she's like, not everyone is brave enough. And we were like, yeah. And she walks away. We're like knowing that it was awful. Because you could smell it as it sat down. And I was like, oh no. Okay. Nope. We did this. We're just gonna shove this in our faces, and we could only do so much. Like the last bite I took was just, and it just sticks with you.
Yeah, if a food like that you've never had before brings out an honest, negative emotion that you can only find in the bowels of a Harry Potter novel, like sometimes it's like, no, thank you.
Harry Potter and the indigestion of eternal suffering. Well, and we went to obviously we're down there. We went to a few more wineries, and every time like one of us would burp in the car, it was one of us just be like, "Brr. Oh, I'm so sorry," and it was just mouth farts wafting throughout the entire car.
The entire car's like, because I'm kind of like weird about my own like. Sometimes you get bad breath. You want to be cognizant of it. But if everybody in the car is like, no, this is just methane.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yep. I'm just mouth farting. You want an Altoid? I don't think that's gonna help.
Raise your hand if you just rimmed a beluga whale.
Everybody in the car. All right.
And that's what makes SeaWorld beautiful again. They let all of the orcas go, but now you get the tongue of beluga whales, asshole. At this point, they like it.
And he's into it. He'll back up against you.
Why wouldn't you be? He's mostly sentient.
They are fascinating creatures, the beluga whale.
And their viscera are delicious in 1983.
Oh, boy. What'd you learn today?
Almost nothing. Thank God. Almost never. I mostly just talked to you. What I learned is that even when your mother-in-law is upstairs, you will still dress in cosplay drag, fail to utilize technology, and do it with a big-ass smile on your face because you pushed through adversity, and I love you for it.
Thanks, buddy. That means a lot.
That's very true, actually.
Well, what are you going to do? It's just, you might as well laugh at it. Because, the last thing I take seriously on this planet is myself. And,
welcome to the club.
Right? I do a lot of things. There's a lot of things I take seriously. Myself, not one of them. And I think I've proven that time and again. For all the times I've put this outfit on the internet. Just, it takes two strong men and a lad to get me out of it. I'm gonna have to, it's like, that didn't come out quite how I intended, but here we are. It's like, just like a shoehorn in the jaws of life to get me suckered out of this thing, but here it is. What are you gonna do? You know what I learned? I learned that you're probably right, that if someone were to go, come on, you gotta do this with us. You're part of the culture now. You're one of us, but we gotta have you do this. I would probably be suckered into it, because that's just the kind of guy I am.
But it would be worth the story.
Yeah.
It's just for the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, the after, like we've said before, and I'm paraphrasing now, but the after effects of whatever you're doing are worth the story.
See, that's the difference between you and us, and that's why we are good foils for each other, and we will be friends forever and ever. You will go head first into the story. I'll be like, hey, get fucked, I'm over here. The hot tub's back here. Go for it. Whatever you think. I don't care.
I'll be right back.
I'll embellish it, and I'll write it down, but I'm good.
Yep, I'm just a big fuzzy dog is what I am. It's just, look, a tennis ball! Everything's a tennis ball! I'm just fascinated by everything. Hey, you know what?
What's that?
I love you, buddy.
Love you back.